SIR draft voter list of Uttar Pradesh was published on January 6 after a 62-day process of enumeration by booth-level officers who went house to house verifying voters and getting them to fill the required forms, tracing their links to the 2003 voter lists when the last special intensive revision of electoral rules was conducted. A whopping 2.89 crore names have been deleted from the 2025 electoral rolls of UP, the largest in absolute numbers for any state or union territory where the SIR has been done till now. I am Sreeparna Chakrabarty and I cover the Election Commission for the Hindu. Today, we will try and understand who are these voters whose names have been deleted in India's most populous state. As I travelled across certain areas of Uttar Pradesh last week to try and understand this, what first struck me was how the ongoing SIR was not really an issue with which most people were concerned with, except in some minority-dominated pockets where voters were worried of disenfranchisement due to the citizenship bogey raised by the exercise.
We are at this booth in Saharanpur town of Saharanpur district, which has seen the highest number of deletions in the voter list within this district. Now, Uttar Pradesh has seen the largest number of deletions in urban areas, with Lucknow leading, Ghaziabad a close second. So, in the Saharanpur district, it is Saharanpur town which has seen the largest number of deletions. And here we can see that there is no voter who is coming to check the list as of now, because there is no list which has been put up. We were told that the BLO came yesterday and informed people whose names were not there on the list, though the draft lists have seen 100% coverage of those who have filled enumeration forms. Now will begin the phase when people will be called for hearings if their names have not been mapped to the 2003 list when the last SIR was conducted in Uttar Pradesh.
Needless to say, there is a section of voters who have not filled the enumeration forms or have not even been able to trace the forms as they have moved many residences, especially in urban areas. Next comes a category of voters who have shifted residences since the last elections and have been asked to fill a fresh registration form called Form 6 with a declaration and a separate Form 4 in which they have to give details of their last SIR linkage or any of the ECI mandated documents. Congress leader Gurdeep Sappal is one such voter. His family shifted from Ghaziabad, which falls under the Saibabad assembly seat, to Noida, and his name is not there in the draft list. And the entire family has to fill fresh registration form, that is Form 6. Mr. Sappal has questioned as to why he has to fill Form 6 and register afresh when his entire family was present in the 2003 voter lists and had all documents required by the ECI, adding that he would be approaching the court in this matter.
So, sir, did you fill the enumeration form, and how you found out that your family's name and your name is not there in the draft list?
Well, when the SIR started, I knew that I had shifted my residence and my old residence should not have my name. So I went to BLO myself and inquired that I want to fill the form. So BLO told me that there is no such provision for shifted voters. Then I tried to find out why is it not there. Then I discovered that for the voters who have shifted from outside the state, Election Commission has mandated them to fill Form 8. But if a voter has shifted within the state, there was no provision for them. So the same Election Commission, which was accepting Form 8 with a declaration from the BLO for those who had shifted from other state, was valid. But if you have shifted within the state, there was no way you can register for the SIR list. Second thing, I also discovered that Election Commission guideline, which was issued in October, I think 27th of October, clearly instructed BLO to carry 30 blank forms and with a declaration. But those forms also were only for those who had shifted from outside the state or new voter. Now, Election Commission, which is accepting Form 8 from those who are from outside the state, is not accepting Form 8 from those who are within the state.
Right.
So I went ahead when BLO failed to provide me the spare enumeration form, which as per the guidelines was mandatory. I procured on my own from ERO I filled it, I submitted all the documents, I took my receipt, and I thought now, even if BLO failed to provide me an enumeration form, I have filled it and it should be there. But when I checked the draft list, the name was not there. And it was not my personal case. Almost 4.64 crore voters throughout the state, India, in the current round of SIR, their names were arbitrarily deleted because they had shifted residence. So when more than 4.5 crore voters are losing their voting right because of a lapse on election commission, that is why I decided to make it an issue. Now you also see when election commission saw that my objection, it gained some currency and people started talking about it. So the chief election electoral officer, CEO of Uttar Pradesh, it tweeted and advised me to fill form 6 and said that form 6 can be filled and your name will be considered. Well, I thanked him for responding to the issue. But the problem is that form 6 is for new voter.
Right.
Election Commission has given legal legitimacy to old records while verifying SIR records. In SIR, they have clearly mentioned that if the name is in 2003 list, then it will be automatically included. Their citizenship will not be tested. If your name is not in 2003 list, then the citizenship test also comes in. This is what Election Commission has said in Supreme Court also. My name was in 2003 list. By filling a form 6 for new voter, I lose all my record. So when, in a case when I should, or my family should be an automatic voter and automatically considered as citizen of India, we are being asked to deliberately allow our historical records to be deleted and appear as fresh voter. Whereas a person who has shifted from outside the state is being given option to file Form 8. So certainly this is a big lapse. When Election Commission itself has given legal sanctity to electoral records of past, it has no right to force me to delete my record.
So what is the way forward you're considering now?
In Supreme Court, the case about SIR is ongoing. I have today only moved an application. It's not about me, about crores of voters who are being forced to either fill Form 6 or who are oblivious that their names have been deleted because of shifting. I think the Supreme Court should intervene and direct the Election Commission to accept Form 8 from all the voters whose name have been deleted on account of shifting.
So as Mr. Sappal said, a lot of voters are concerned that when they fill Form 6 for shifting their addresses as recommended by a lot of BLOs, their older voter registrations are nullified. So the UPCU has just clarified that the Form 6s being filled by such shifted voters will have a provision where they can mention their older epic numbers as well as the earlier progeny mapping which they have done. सर जैसे एक नया चीज़ आया है कि लॉट ऑफ शिफ्टेड वोटर्स को बोला जा रहा है कि वो फॉर्म 6 भरे इंस्टेड ऑफ फॉर्म 8, तो उस पर आप ज़रा क्लैरिफाई करेंगे कि उनकी जो पुरानी वोटर रजिस्ट्रेशन है वो इफेक्ट तो नहीं हो रही है इससे? ECI ने क्या प्रावधान बनाया इसके लिए? देखिए,
फॉर्म 8 में एक ऑप्शन है शिफ्टिंग का. सो फॉर्म 8 में शिफ्टिंग तभी हो पाती है जब आपका एग्जिस्टिंग इलेक्टोरल रोल में नाम हो. ये संभव है कि जब SIR का एन्यूमरेशन फेज था तो जो लोग शिफ्ट कर गए उनका एन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म नहीं भरा गया तो उनका नाम वोटर लिस्ट से हट गया. ड्राफ्ट वोटर लिस्ट में उनका नाम ही नहीं है. अगर उनका नाम ड्राफ्ट वोटर लिस्ट में नहीं है तो अब वो फॉर्म 8 भर के शिफ्टिंग नहीं कर सकते. ऐसे लोगों के लिए ऑप्शन है फॉर्म 6 और उसके लिए भी एक विशेष व्यवस्था की गई है. जब आप फॉर्म 6 ऑनलाइन भरने के लिए जाते हैं तो आपसे एक प्रॉम्प्ट आता है, न्यू वोटर या वोटर एग्जिस्टिंग बिफोर SIR 2026. उस ऑप्शन को अगर हम सिलेक्ट करते हैं, इट आस्क्स फॉर योर एपिक नंबर. एपिक नंबर डालने पे वो वैलिडेट करता है, यस योर नेम वाज देयर बिफोर SIR, बिफोर पब्लिकेशन ऑफ ड्राफ्ट इलेक्टोरल रोल. उसके बाद आपका नाम ऑटो पॉपुलेट होता है, रिलेशन भी ऑटो पॉपुलेट होता है, बाकी चीज़ें आप भर सकते हैं, करेक्शन कर सकते हैं, डेट ऑफ बर्थ है, एड्रेस है और अपना सबमिशन है. फॉर्म 6 ही है लेकिन इसमें फ़ायदा ये है कि एक तरह से आपकी कंटिन्यूटी बनी है पीछे की. तो ऐसे वोटर्स जिनको ये शिकायत है कि कि एन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म में हम शिफ्ट कर गए थे, हम नोएडा से गाज़ियाबाद या गाज़ियाबाद से नोएडा शिफ्ट कर गए थे, हमारा नाम क्यों कट गया, अब हम दोबारा फॉर्म क्यों भरें, उनके लिए ये रास्ता है। और जिनका नाम कुछ लोगों ने एन्यूमरेशन फेज में अपने पुराने एड्रेस पे BLO को संपर्क करके अपना एन्यूमरेशन फॉर्म भरवा दिया था, उनका नाम ड्राफ्ट वोटर लिस्ट में है पुराने एड्रेस पे। ऐसे लोग फॉर्म 8 भर सकते हैं, पुराने एड्रेस से नई जगह आ जाए।
Then there are voters who were listed in both the cities where they're currently residing as well as in the ancestral villages and have decided to retain any one of the votes. There are also people who have been shifting houses and have been registered at multiple places due to the fact that it is almost impossible for BLOs to delete names during the special summary revisions which are carried out annually. There are still others like the Samajwadi Party MLA Ravidas Mehrotra's brother and nephew whose names have not been found despite them filling the enumeration forms. The BLO has informed them that this was due to a technical glitch and would be rectified. The incident, though, has created a mild political storm in the state capital, Lucknow. Now, speaking of Lucknow, the city incidentally has seen the maximum deletions in the SIR. A total of 12,132 names out of 39,94,000 voters have been deleted from the existing 2025 voter rolls for Lucknow, the highest for any district in UP. The problem is as acute in other urban centers, where Lucknow saw 30% names deleted, Ghaziabad saw 28%, Gautam Budh Nagar 23.5%, Prayagraj 24% and Kanpur 25%. A large number of the names deleted are also of migrant workers from Bengal, Bihar and even within Uttar Pradesh who have preferred to register themselves back in their home states and thus are out of the draft list of UP. According to data shared by the Election Commission, of the total names deleted, 46.23 lakh, that is 2.99%, were found to be deceased. 2.17 crore had either permanently migrated or were not available during the verification process. Another 25.47 lakh voters were found to be registered at more than one place. Many voters whose names are deleted have been asked to fill Form 6 and are most likely to get back into the final list to be published on March 6. Ground-level political party workers, meanwhile, are picking their brains about another situation in these urban constituencies. They are worried that many residents of the state who reside in cities but also have their names registered in their villages where they own land and property have preferred to fill enumeration forms from the rural areas to retain their names in the villages. This is disturbing the carefully calibrated voting bases of some dominant political parties in these areas. Another reason is that many associate voting rights from a particular place with owning property in that area, though it is not correlated. According to ECI rules, people are eligible to vote from places where they are ordinarily resident and not where they own property. Some of the political party workers the Hindu spoke with say they will now focus on getting names of genuine voters who have been left out for various reasons added to the final list by making them fill Form 6, and the month of January was crucial for this purpose.
The main problem in the SIR is during SP and BSP governments, a lot of voters have been removed from the voters list. And the maximum ratio is of senior citizens, just like they are of age of 60, 65, 70. Now the problem is how to make their new votes, as they don't have the documents of their parents or grandfathers, grandmother. So this is the main problem now in SIR due to the SP and BSP rule in which they have removed our voters. And the other thing is approximately 10 to 15% of voters have not been met. Work on the Form 6 and Form 8 has to be done very sharply because a lot of voters have been removed in the last few years from the voters list.
Because according to the new schedule announced by the ECI, after 3 extensions to the SIR process, the period of receiving claims and objections will remain open from January 6 to February 6, and the final rolls will be published on March 6. There are also local community leaders who have been creating awareness regarding the SIR process since it began and are now ensuring the documents required for unmapped voters are in place when asked for. Meanwhile, a visit to the district election office in Ghaziabad shows officials gearing up to prepare for the battle ahead, that is of collecting documents from voters who have not been mapped with the 2003 electoral rolls when the last SIR was conducted in Uttar Pradesh. A senior officer present said additional assistant electoral officers have been deputed, and beginning January 15 to 16, hearings will begin of people who could not be mapped to the 2003 SIR rolls. One AERO is expected to conduct 50 hearings in a day. With many out of the 2.89 crore waiting to get into the final rolls through fresh registrations, and still many of those who are unmapped in the draft rolls gearing up to show documents, it remains to be seen whether the process can be completed by March 6 or will get yet another extension.